His name is Mr.Bottarini.
And I intend to be the president of the United States and build a business empire that rivals that of the Rockefellers. I didn't always have goals that big. I didn't believe it was possible. I'm gonna give you a little backstory on what made me believe I can accomplish anything in this life, and hopefully it inspires you that you can accomplish anything in this life that you so desire. My parents put me in the sport of gymnastics at the age of 3. Over the 15 years I did gymnastics, I became a 7-time national champion and a 7-time national team member. Gymnastics showed me that I'm able to accomplish anything I desire, and that I can be a champion in whatever facet of life I choose to pursue. During my gymnastics career, me and my coach, Coach Paul, had a falling out. I was banished from my gym for 3 months because I wasn't focused, I was hanging out with the wrong people, and my priorities were not straight. Arriving at the new gym, I met someone who would change my life, and that person is my first mentor, Troy Lippis. Troy Lippis had the biggest impact any human has ever had on my life. He basically showed me that I could do anything, that the sky was the limit. There's no boundaries to my success. But he didn't push me in that direction. An analogy I like to use on how Troy helped me gain this mindset and be in the top 1% of 18-year-olds is he led me to the water, but I was the one who drank it. When I proved to Coach Paul that I was ready to go back to my old gym, I went back. 2 months go by. I'm doing amazing gymnastics. I'm back at the top, but I didn't like it anymore. I felt like I had a bigger calling. I started praying to God every day for 3 months that I would be successful enough to be able to meet some of my heroes. And one of my heroes was Donald J. Trump. On the 3rd month of praying every night, my mom called me into the living room. My whole family is sitting on the couch. My dad, brother, sister. I thought someone died. There was a knot in my stomach. I didn't know what to think. She said, "We have huge news for you, Jaden. Trump's business partner has invited me to have dinner with President Trump." In that moment, when they told me that news, my heart stopped. My life flashed before my eyes. God thinks I'm successful enough to meet a man I idolize. I'm getting chills just thinking about that. Wow. And none of that would have happened without Troy Lippis and him pushing me to the water to become a man of God, a man of values, and a man of goals. The night of the dinner, I had one objective, and that was to make sure Donald J. Trump remembered me. As I'm walking up to Trump, I see him and I walk straight up to him. I look him dead in the eye, shake his hand, and I give him a little pull like he does, but it outweighed his. So I think that was the first memory he had. But second, I looked him dead in the eye, and I told him I was going to be the president of the United States, but not just any president, a president that was better than him. He's never heard that in his life. He's arguably one of the biggest egos in the world, but my comment shook his ego, and I'm confident he'll remember my face. That night after the dinner, I couldn't sleep for one reason. I realized that all my goals were possible. Trump is a human, just like me. The same human urges, tendencies, and overall the same human nature. So I started setting out and venturing to make new connections. I ended up starting a podcast, and I was able to interview multiple decamillionaires and 2 billionaires. One of my podcast hosts, we had a coming to God moment. Her name is Kim Douglas. She's a cancer survivor. She's a partner with Ellen DeGeneres show. She's a Fox News reporter, a beauty expert, an extraordinary woman. After the podcast, I go up to her and I said, I've been looking to start a faith-based brand because I think the faith-based sector is very underrepresented. And she looked at me dead in the eyes and she's like, Jaden, I have too. So without time to spare, my other 2 podcast hosts, they left. I said, Kim, we're starting tonight. I stayed at Kim's house that night till 1 a.m., formulating a business plan, formulating our next steps. We went on to start our company, The Believers. I go over for a meeting actually one day at Kim's house, and this is a very memorable moment in my life. And this woman's sitting in her house when we're supposed to have a meeting, and I'm like thinking in my head, this is totally unprofessional. Who is this woman? And Kim says, Jaden, I have a surprise for you. I'd like you to meet the founder and owner of Equinox, Lavinia Erico. I couldn't believe it. I ended up going to dinner with Lavinia, and she helped me and Kim strategize and create a business plan. Lavinia and Kim are very strong women in the entrepreneurial space. They're going to be leaders, and not only that, me and Kim are going to disrupt the faith-based industry with a massive effect. All this was possible because one man believed in me and showed me that anything I did and put my mind to is possible. I intend to use this YouTube channel as a documentation of my journey to the top of the White House and of the business world. If you got value out of this video, please subscribe, share to a friend that needs to hear this. You can do anything you put your mind to. All you need is this.